Hey, and welcome back. Today I want to walk you through something that I think a lot of people are curious about, but also super confused by, and that's fat loss supplements. Now, I'll say this up front. No supplement is going to replace a good diet, consistent movement, and plenty of sleep. But there are a few that actually have solid research behind them, things that can support your fat loss efforts in a real way. No gimmicks, just evidence. What makes a supplement even worth considering? So let's just be clear about what we're looking for here. When I say a supplement works, I mean there is clinical research, real human studies that show it can help in one or more of these ways. Number one, it can increase your energy expenditure or fat oxidation. Number two, it reduces hunger or calorie intake. And number three, it supports better blood sugar or metabolic function, which can indirectly support fat loss. We're not chasing miracles here. We're looking for tools that make the process a bit easier or more effective when paired with everything else you're already doing. Let's start with supplements with the strongest evidence. These are the ones that I'd feel comfortable recommending to pretty much anyone who's trying to lose fat, assuming, of course, no contraindications. Number one on our list is whey protein. Whey protein probably isn't the first thing that comes to mind when you think of fat loss supplements, but it's actually one of the most effective, not because it directly burns fat, but because it helps with appetite control, muscle retention, and overall body composition. A lot of people just aren't eating enough protein when trying to lose weight, and that can backfire. Whey makes it easier to fill that gap. Let's take a look at dosing. A typical dose is 20 to 40 grams, either after training or between meals. Total daily intake should land somewhere around 1.6 to 2.2 grams per kilogram of body weight if you want to preserve muscle while losing fat. Number two on our list is caffeine. Caffeine is probably the most well-studied fat loss ingredient out there. It helps to increase energy expenditure, enhance fat oxidation, and can improve workout performance. So you end up burning more calories during and after a workout session. But like most stimulants, some people are more sensitive to it than others. If you tend to get jittery or anxious, you can try combining caffeine with L-theanine, an amino acid that's found in tea. It's been shown to help smooth out that stimulant effect so you could still get the focus and energy, but with fewer side effects. Let's take a look at dosing. Most people respond well to 100 to 300 milligrams per dose, but I always recommend starting low if you're not used to it, and don't go over 400 milligrams per day and avoid it late in the days so it doesn't mess with your sleep. Number three on our list is green tea extract. Green tea extract, especially when combined with caffeine, has been shown to slightly increase fat burning and energy expenditure. The key compound here is EGCG, which is a type of antioxidant called a catechin. EGCG helps by inhibiting an enzyme that normally would break down norepinephrine, which is a hormone that signals your body to burn fat. By keeping norepinephrine levels elevated for longer, EGCG helps to increase fat breakdown, especially when paired with caffeine. which helps to amplify its effect. The impact isn't huge, but over time it adds up, especially if you're already following a good diet and training routine. Let's take a look at what the dosing looks like. For fat loss, look for a supplement with 400 to 500 milligrams of EGCG per day, usually split into 2 doses. Regular green tea, unfortunately, does not contain enough of EGCG to get you there, so you'll want an extract and you'll have to supplement to get the benefits from this ingredient. Moving on to number 4 on our list, soluble fiber. Fiber is one of the simplest and most underrated ways to support your fat loss. It slows down digestion, helps regulate appetite, and supports your gut health. It's especially helpful if you tend to get hungry in between meals. Let's take a look at what the typical dosing is for fiber. The recommended total fiber intake is 25 to 38 grams per day, depending on your age and sex. But for fat loss, 3 to 5 grams of supplemental fiber per day, like glucosamine or psyllium, has been shown to help with appetite and calorie control. And I want to clarify something here. A lot of people worry that drinking more water with fiber will cause more bloating, but it's actually the opposite. Fiber needs water to work properly, especially the soluble kind. So drinking a full glass of water with your fiber supplement helps it move through your system more smoothly and reduces the chances of bloating or discomfort. Just start slow and increase your fiber intake gradually. Moving on to number 5 on our list, probiotics and prebiotics. This one is a little newer, but it's still promising. Some strains of probiotics like Lactobacillus gasseri have been shown to help reduce abdominal fat and improve hunger regulation, but it's very strain specific, so quality matters here. Let's take a look at the typical dosing. Look for products with at least 10 billion CFUs and clinically studied strains. And for best results, pair it with prebiotic fiber to support a healthy gut environment. Let's move on to our next category, supplements that can help in certain situations. Now, these next ones aren't quite as broadly effective, but they can still be helpful depending on the person and the context. Number 1 on this list is berberine. Berberine is one of the most interesting supplements on this list. It's not a fat burner in the traditional sense as we've discussed, but it can help with fat loss indirectly by improving metabolic health. Mechanism-wise, it activates a pathway called AMPK, which is kind of like your body's energy sensor. When AMPK is turned on, your body becomes more efficient at using fat for fuel, regulating blood sugar and reducing fat storage. Berberine also helps lower insulin resistance and blood sugar levels, which can make it easier for your body to tap into fat stores instead of holding on to them. It's especially helpful for people who are overweight, insulin resistant, or dealing with things like PCOS or metabolic syndrome. Let's talk dosing. Most studies use 500 milligrams taken 2 to 3 times a day with meals. So you're looking at around 1,000 to 1,500 milligrams per day. Just know that it can cause mild GI discomfort when you first start. So ease into it if needed, starting at a lower end of that dose. Moving on to number 2 on our list, 5-HTP. 5-HTP is a supplement that's often used to help with mood, but it can also support fat loss in some people, mainly by helping reduce appetite and carb cravings. So how does it work? 5-HTP is a precursor to serotonin. That's a neurotransmitter that helps regulate mood and appetite. When you take 5-HTP, your body can convert it into serotonin, which has been shown to help people feel fuller sooner and reduce how much they eat, especially when it comes to carbs or stress-related snacking. It's not a fat burner, but it can make sticking to your calorie goals a little easier, especially if emotional eating is something that you deal with. Let's take a look at the typical dosing. Most studies use 100 to 300 milligrams taken 30 to 45 minutes before meals. Just a heads up, if you're taking antidepressant or anything that affects your serotonin levels, you should definitely talk to your doctor before using this one, or at least make your doctor aware. Moving on to number 3 on our list, MCTs, medium chain triglycerides. MCTs are a type of fat that your body processes a little differently than other fats. They quickly get absorbed and go straight to the liver, where they're used for energy or turned into ketones, which your body can use as an alternative fuel source. This process gives MCTs a slightly thermogenic effect, meaning you burn a bit more energy processing them. And they may also help reduce appetite by influencing hunger-related hormones. The fat loss effect is pretty modest on its own, but it can be helpful if you're using it to replace other fats in your diet, not just adding extra calories on top. Let's take a look at the typical dosing. Start with 1 teaspoon to see how your body handles it, and work up to 1 to 2 tablespoons per day. That's about 15 to 30 grams. Too much too fast can cause digestive issues, so start low and go slow. Moving on to supplement number 4, and our last supplement in this category is yohimbine. Yohimbine is a supplement that's often used to target stubborn fat, especially around areas like the lower belly or thighs. Here's how yohimbine works. You see, fat cells have 2 types of receptors: beta receptors, which help release fat, and alpha-2 receptors, which do the opposite. They make it harder for your body to break down fat in those areas. Yohimbine blocks those alpha-2 receptors, which can make it easier for your body to mobilize that stored fat and burn it for energy. That effect is most noticeable in a fasted state, especially during fasted cardio, when your body is more reliant on fat for fuel. The results here can be pretty solid, but this is not for everyone because it is a stimulant and it can cause side effects like anxiety or increased heart rate in some people. Let's take a look at the typical dosing for yohimbine. Most studies use 10 to 20 milligrams per day, usually split into 2 doses taken before fasted exercise. Just make sure you test your tolerance and don't stack it with other stimulants if you know you're sensitive. So that's the breakdown. These supplements can help, but they are not shortcuts. They work best when they support a smart, sustainable plan, one that includes food you enjoy, movement that challenges you, and enough recovery to keep you going. If you've tried any of these and had good or bad experiences, I would love to hear about it in the comments. And if you're interested in how to combine some of these, like caffeine, green tea, and yohimbine, for even better results, let me know and I can make a follow-up video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.